Hello everyone. Today we are starting with international relations news. We'll see the first heading, that is India's Mobile Congress 2024. So we'll see the static portion first. What is it? The future is now. That is what is the thing. India Mobile Congress. Event 8th edition of India's Congress, Asia's leading digital tech exhibition. It's a digital tech exhibition and which is the 8th edition of India Mobile Congress. Okay. So co-host Department of Telecommunications and Cellular Operations Association of India. Theme, the future is now. So the future is now for India Mobile Congress, which is a leading digital tech exhibition. Okay, the future is now. Focus area, if you see, 6G. Now 5G is over. Now 6G. Artificial intelligence, semiconductors. We all know this. Semiconductors, we have made some MOU with the USA also. Satellite communication, SATCOM, quantum technology and security. These are the key focus areas. If you see the current affairs, why is it in news? The context, if you see, that is India's Mobile Congress 2024 praised for aligning with Prime Minister Modi's Digital India vision, held during ITU WTSA. What is this? We read about ITU WTSA yesterday itself. It's World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly, right, which is held in Delhi. So World Telecommunication Standardization Sector is what we were focusing on. So according to that only the news is there today. That's why I put up this under international relation only. Otherwise I would have put up under polity, right? So we know this. WTSA is the governing conference for International Telecommunication Union. So in case of International Telecommunication Union, we had a World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly, right, in Delhi. That is held in Delhi. So in that context only they are talking. Okay. What is that? IMC 2024 praised for aligning Digital India vision, held during ITU WTSA, World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly in New Delhi. Technological advancements, if you see, displays innovations in AI, 6G, quantum tech and more, encouraging collaborations. Also have a good economic impact, expected to draw investment and boost India's technology sector. Global collaboration, if you see, participation from 120 plus countries, facilitating knowledge and idea exchange. Also startup support is there. The Aspire program aids startup with investors access, enhancing the growth. So this is about India's Mobile Congress 8th edition, and which is aligning with World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly's view also, mostly to the Digital India vision. Okay, we'll see into the organization today. So we have a couple of news here. So under that we have one report to be noted, that is UN Women Report on Social Protection. So if you see the news, UN Women Report 2024 has been released. So which organization releases Women Report? It's United Nations. A new report highlights the lack of access to social protection for 2 billion women globally, leaving them vulnerable to poverty. Key data, if you observe, 63% of women globally give birth without maternity benefit. And if you see this, the economic disparities between men and women, particularly in fragile settings, are exacerbated by conflict and climate change also. So vulnerability is increased. Okay. So examples, countries like Mongolia and Mexico have introduced policies that expand protection for informal workers and domestic workers, setting example for global reforms. As Mongolia and Mexico, even we should set an example while helping women to come out of poverty and come out of the vulnerabilities. Okay. If you see the static portion, social protection. What is social protection? Social protection refers to public policies designed to provide financial support, healthcare, pensions, and other benefits to protect individuals from poverty and economic insecurities. That is social protection. What and all will come under it? Financial, healthcare, pension, and other benefits also to protect from economic insecurities and poverty. Okay. Components, if you see, social protection system typically include healthcare benefit, maternity and paternity leave, okay, and pension schemes along with unemployment insurance. So you should be knowing the components for social protection. Health is very important. In case of women, we know this maternity leave, and case of men, paternity leave has to be given. Pension schemes also should be given, and unemployment insurance. These are the four pillars or components of social protection: healthcare, maternity and paternity leave, pension schemes, unemployment insurance. Okay. So if you see global gender gap, social protection often overlooks women, particularly in developing regions where they lack access to basic services. So under global gender gap, if you see, more sufferers are women. That's the thing. United Nations Women, established in 2010, it is a UN body dedicated to gender equality and empowerment of a woman. So it is established in 2010. Okay. So social protection agenda, United Nations Women advocate for women's economic right and access to social protection measures that target their specific vulnerabilities. So this is about the static part. We got to know about women, United Nations Women, and we know that United Nations Women Report, which is talking about social protection, and we got to know 4 pillars of social protection. So under the current news, we have seen 63% of women globally give birth without any maternity benefit. It is more than 50% is what on an average we can understand. 63%. Okay. The next organization is the national organization. We know that BEML. First we will see the current, static part, and then we will go for a current affairs. So full form, if you know, BEML is Bharat Earth Movers Limited. Okay. Incorporation established on 11 May 1964. Okay. With assistance from Soviet Union. So with assistance from Soviet Union, we have established Bharat Earth Movers Limited. Bharat Earth Movers Limited. Ownership initially fully owned by Indian government under Ministry of Defence. Headquarters Bangalore, Karnataka, India. Okay. Industry, it produces heavy equipment for earth moving, railways, transport and mining. Significance, Asia's second largest earth moving equipment manufacturer. So it's Asia's second largest earth moving equipment manufacturer. Okay. Why is it in news now? The context, if you see, BEML will manufacture India's first indigenous high-speed train achieving a peak speed of 280 km per hour. That's why it is in news. It is going to manufacture India's first, not just high-speed train, but it is the first high-speed train of India that will be manufactured by BEML. You know, right? Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant. Under that, indigenization is happening. So BEML is also going to work for the same. Okay. So disinvestment history, if you see, 1992, 25% government disinvestment happened. Later, strategic disinvestment, additional 26% disinvestment with management control transfer approved by the government, Indian government. Okay. So that's about BEML and why is it in news. Okay. We are going to get high-speed train from BEML soon. Okay. Again, we can be checking out the news later. Yeah. Now the second one is iForest. What is iForest? Indian Forum for Environmental Sustainability. Study on energy transition in India. So there is a report released by iForest. iForest full form you should be knowing. India's Forum for Environmental Sustainability. For energy transition, there is a report released. We'll see what is it. The iForest report outlines the cost of transitioning from coal to green energy in India, emphasizing socio-economic impacts alongside energy replacement. So we are going to check out how much cost will happen for transitioning from coal to green energy. So in the static background, we should know what is energy transition in India, that scale. Energy landscape, if you see, India is the third largest carbon emitter. After US, China, India is third largest. 55% of energy needs are met by coal. We know more than 50% is by coal. 70% of electricity moves or comes from coal field plants. So 70% electricity from coal fired plants. Okay, so renewable goals, we have targeting for 500 gigawatt. Recently we read a news that we already reached 200 gigawatt. That's a milestone, right? So that was under news of fossil fuel. By 2030 we should be doing it, aiming for 50% renewable energy share by 2030 under NAPCC, National Action Plan for Climate Change, right? So key points from IFRS study, if you see in the current affairs. So total cost, transitioning will cost over 84 lakh crore. And coal dependency, coal meets 55% of energy needs. Coal fired plants produce 70% of electricity. So because of this we need 84 lakh crores for transitioning. Coal mining and thermal plant, closed mines produce 1,315 million ton annually. Phase out 237.2 gigawatt capacity of thermal plants. And also green energy cost, 52% of transition cost will be there. And non-energy cost, if you see, make up 48% of total cost, supporting 60 lakh workers in coal dependent sectors and land rehabilitation. So for land rehabilitation, again we have to have so much. It's like 3 lakh plus hectares of mining land and 1 lakh plus hectares for thermal sites. This is how the socio-economic impact will be there. So apart from that, you should be knowing our targets from Paris Agreement, right? Yes. We'll go to economics section. So today we have one of the article on transportation related, that is Shetkar Samruddhi special train. So what is this special train? Already we know train, so that's why I mentioned as a transportation related. But there is something called Shetkar Samruddhi and a special train. What is this? Shetkar Samruddhi special train. So that is related to some other thing also, right? So we'll see what is it. Union Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav flagged off the Shetkar Samruddhi special train via video conferencing, connecting Devlali in Maharashtra to Dhanapur in Bihar. So you should be remembering this place also. Why is it a special train? Because it is there for or to facilitate the transport of perishable goods and produce from farmers. So it is related to agriculture and market access, right? So for a perishable goods and produce from farmers to new markets at minimum cost. Okay. Features equipped with the small parcel vans for safe and efficient transport of a perishable items. So whenever you talk about agriculture and perishable items and how to connect with market, now we have one of the solution, that is Shetkari Samruddhi special train. Okay. So next, if we go to society, we don't have much news today. In the map section, we have one location, that is Mount Adams, which is located in Washington, USA. So it's of height 12,277 feet, largest by volume in Washington. Okay. Volcanic field, it covers 1,250 square kilometer with over 120 basaltic volcanoes. You don't need to remember everything of this sort. I'll let you know. It's a stratovolcano. That's what you can remember. It's in USA. Stratovolcano and in USA. And why is it in news? It is in news because recent reports suggest increased seismic activity after being dormant for thousands of years. Now the seismic activity is happening, though it was dormant for thousands of years. Dormant means it was not active. Potential risk, increased seismic activity could indicate future eruptions. So that means maybe future eruptions will be there. That is the indication. Seismic monitoring, ongoing efforts to track and predict volcanic activity due to potential hazard. So here you should be noting one. What is this? Mount Adam. It's a stratovolcano. It was dormant for 1000 years, 1000+ years. Now it is having seismic activity that is indicating future eruptions. Where is it located? Washington State, USA. That's the point you should be capturing from Mount Adams article. So we'll go to science and technology. We have two articles here which are good to see. One is on copper zinc tin sulfide nanoparticle. So one another nanoparticle. Already we have seen diamond nanoparticles. Now again we have something called copper zinc tin sulfide nanoparticle. Four components are there here. Copper zinc tin sulfide nanoparticle. Okay, we see what is it. Scientists at the Institute of Advanced Study in Science and Technology, Guwahati, they have produced this. What is it? It's a photocatalyst developed. So it's a photocatalyst. Photo in the sense light related, right? When light is inserted on it or light is touched on it, then the action will happen. Light related one. Okay, photo is light. So scientists developed copper zinc tin sulfide nanoparticle and a copper zinc tin sulfide tungsten disulfide composite. So component made from abundant, inexpensive and non-toxic materials such as zinc chloride, copper chloride, tin chloride and tungsten disulfide. So why? Act as a photocatalyst that degrades sulfamethoxazole, a broad spectrum antibiotic under light exposure. So as I told, photo is a light related one. When light is exposed to it, this degrades a sulfamethoxazole. That is the thing. Okay. So need antibiotic contamination. The rise in antibiotic use has led to environmental pollution. We know that, contributing to antibiotic resistance, ecological damage and health risk. So solution, photocatalyst capable of degrading antibiotics into less harmful products in byproducts essential to mitigate effects. Okay. So this is the one. Now you should be knowing one is what? One is copper zinc tin sulfide nanoparticle. For what? For degrading sulfamethoxazole, or you can also say it as antibiotic. Okay, to degrade them. We just remember sulfamethoxazole. What are the nanoparticles? Copper, zinc, tin, sulfide nanoparticles. Okay. Then we have acidification test. So if you see what is acidification test, static person will see what is it. It determines the age by analyzing bone development and union of epiphyses. Okay. So first thing, to analyze the age using bone development. The test is said to be ossification test. Bones assessed are radius, ulna, humerus, tibia, fibula, femur. You don't need to remember everything yet as it is, but you should be memorizing what is ossification test. Accuracy, if you see, provides an age estimate within a 2-year margin with 6-month error range. So 6-month error range is there. Limitation, influenced by factors like climate, diet and hereditary. Limitations are also there. But you should be knowing about ossification test. So current affairs, if you see, why is it in news? Mumbai police used an ossification test to confirm that Dharmaraj Kashyap, accused in a murder case of Baba Siddiq, is not a minor. To test that, we went for ossification test in Mumbai police case. Okay. Alternative methods also there, like wisdom teeth erupt in late teens to early adulthood, used for age detection. So based on tooth also we can. Epigenetic clock measures DNA methylation, still under study in Indian forensic. So it is still under study. Epigenetic clock. Then we have radiographic technique also. X-ray or CT scan evaluate bone maturity and degeneration. Based on these also we can determine the age. Today they whatever they used is ossification test. Okay, ossification test. So that's about science and technology section. If we see internal security, we don't have much of the news. Even geography, no new articles. So if we see polity, we have an article on exit polls and related regulations. Actually, if you see the current affairs, it's like the chief election commissioner has called on media houses to introspect over the use of exit polls as distractions during elections, reflecting concern about their impact. Okay, so chief election commission has called to introspect their exit polls before release, so that there will be no much concerns or distractions. So in this you should be knowing about election commission and how many members will be there, their term, their qualifications, everything you should be knowing as part of static. In polity you will be reading about under constitutional bodies. So apart from that, you should be knowing about what is exit poll or opinion poll. So there are two things, exit polls and opinion poll. We'll see what are those under this. Election commission you have to study or comment below. Okay. If you see exit poll are conducted after voters cast their vote to predict election outcomes based on the actual voting behavior. After once you vote, then it is conducted exit poll. Legal framework, if you see, it is having a legal framework also. Section 126A of Representation of People Act 1951 regulates the exit poll in India. It prohibits their publication during election process, ensuring no undue influence on the voter. During election process you should not. So that is what is regulated under Section 126A of Representation of People Act 1951. Exit polls were banned during polling periods after multiple instances of them skewing public perception during ongoing election. Okay. So then we see the second one. What is opinion poll? It is conducted before election to assess voter preferences, but they may not reflect actual voting. So it's before voting, so it may not reflect the actual voting. Whereas exit poll after voting. Okay. So Representation of People Act also should be checked once. Okay. The Representation of People Act forms the basis for electoral process in India, including provision for regulating political campaigns, voter registrations, and managing elections. Okay, even exit polls fall under the regulation of Section 126A for maintaining the integrity of electoral outcomes. So you should be knowing about Section 126A. Also, Representation of People Act in depth. Okay. Election Commission of India, of course, as I already mentioned. So it is responsible for the supervision and regulation of elections in India, including ensuring the legal conduct of exit poll. Even for exit poll, responsibility goes to Election Commission of India. This is one point to be noted. We'll see in the environment section. So we have two articles here. One is on greenwashing guidelines. So who issues greenwashing guidelines? This is kind of expected questions. So greenwashing guidelines will be issued by Central Consumer Protection Authority under which is established under Consumer Protection Act. Okay. Introduced guidelines in India to regulate misleading environmental claims and prevent greenwashing. First we see what is greenwashing. Greenwashing is a deceptive practice where companies falsely claim their product or service are environmentally friendly to attract consumer. So they are falsely claiming it, though it is not environmentally friendly. They are claiming it so as to attract the consumers, which is wrong, and that is greenwashing. Purpose, if you see, these companies use terms like eco-friendly or sustainable without proper substantiation, aiming to enhance brand image and appeal to environmentally conscious consumers. So that's the thing. So if you see the guidelines, applicability, manufacturers, service providers, and even for traders, individuals or companies making environmental claims about their product. So for them also it is applicable. Advertisements that might include print, digital, and television media. And environmental claims, if you see, companies promoting products as eco-friendly, organic, sustainable must provide evidence to support such claims. So static portion I already read. What is one thing? Greenwashing you should be knowing. Next, concept of sustainable development. Sustainable development is development that meets the need of a present without compromising the ability of a future generation to meet their own needs, which has been said in Brundtland Commission 1987. It integrates economic growth, environmental protection, and social equity. So there are three pillars for sustainable development. Environmental protection, one thing. Second thing, even economic growth along with social equity. Okay. So under Brundtland Commission, what is it? So ability to meet the present needs without compromising on future generations' ability to meet their own needs, according to Brundtland Commission. Okay, when is it? 1987. Easy to memorize. 1987. Okay, 1987. Environmental protection in India, if you see, we have constitutional provision of Article 48A and 51A. So 51A is about fundamental duties, 48A DPSPs, and also we have Environmental Protection Act 1986. So after Bhopal gas tragedy, empowering the government to regulate and oversee pollution control and environmental management, right? So if you see international agreements, Kyoto Protocol, recently also we spoke, 1997. So focused on reducing greenhouse gas emission by industrialized countries. Encouraged green initiative but also witnessed instance of greenwashing. So while encouraging this, we witnessed greenwashing. So then Paris Agreement, we aim to reduce our temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius. Under that, we committed for reducing carbon footprint, leading to rise in corporate claim of environmental responsibility. That's why they are falsely saying that they are following sustainable practices falsely. That is greenwashing, right? So consumer protection and environmental claims, you should be knowing about Consumer Protection Act 2019. Protects consumer from unfair trade practices including misleading environmental claims. So under that only we have Central Consumer Protection Authority. It safeguards consumer interest and regulates misleading advertisement including greenwashing. So in India we have certain initiative for sustainability. One such is National Action Plan for Climate Change. We have 8 missions under it. Just have a look. Then also corporate social responsibility. So greenwashing occurs when companies misrepresent their CSR activities as being more environmentally beneficial than they are. Okay, this is all about static portion of greenwashing. Then we see second article. It's on Haber-Bosch process. So if you see what is this Haber-Bosch process, first thing is it is to produce ammonia by reacting nitrogen and hydrogen for fertilizer production. We know, right? For agriculture how much it is important of fertilizer. So to produce ammonia we are using nitrogen and hydrogen. So invented by Fritz Haber and industrialized by Karl Bosch. That's why it is Haber-Bosch. Using high pressure technology on large scale. Okay. Significance, if you see, enable mass production of nitrogen fertilizer, increasing crop yield. Industrial impact, essential for global food security, supporting population growth. So these are the importance. So how it works? We know that nitrogen reacts with hydrogen to give ammonia. So condition, high pressure should be there, moderate temperature should be there, ion based catalyst. Okay. Challenges, if you see, it's a energy intensive, consumes significant fossil fuels contributing to carbon dioxide emission, but we want to reduce carbon footprint, right? So that's a problem here. Then environmental impact, overuse of nitrogen fertilizer causes pollution and soil degradation, which is already seen in several parts of the world. So future prospects, so how can we change it or get benefit? So alternative is green ammonia. Research focuses on using green hydrogen from renewable energy to reduce emissions. Okay. So current affair, why is it in news? Green ammonia and sustainable agriculture are now key focuses in climate mitigation. Okay, green ammonia which is produced from renewable energy. Energy transition, shift towards renewable energy to decarbonize ammonia production. So environmental implication, green ammonia critical for reducing the fertilizer industry carbon footprint. And climate goals, need to meet the net zero emission and sustainability target. We already discussed this. So technological advancements, if you see, carbon neutral production is there. Use of carbon capture to reduce the emissions, that is carbon neutral production. And new catalyst, innovation aim to lower energy use in ammonia production. So these are some of the points under this. Okay, we're done with environment. Ethics, we don't have much of the news even from history. So that's all for today. We'll catch up tomorrow.